Hey, I'm Tom Farrell. Today we're at the remote testing facility at Fike Corporation in Blue Springs, Missouri. We're here to talk about flat valves, how they're tested, how they operate, and some of the phenomena that actually happens inside of pipe networks that can either make a flat valve work in your process or completely fail, depending on how it was certified. So valves that were certified over the years, either to a prior version of the standard or that were grandfathered in because they were being used as explosion isolation flat valves before a standard existed, may not work in the intended application because they were never subjected to the same pressure loading that would have occurred if it had been tested with a protected zone pipeline. When a protected zone pipeline is added on the protected side of the valve, a couple things happen. When the valve slams shut, you immediately create a vacuum that pulls on the flap. So while you have pressure pushing on the positive side in the unprotected zone, you now also have a vacuum pulling, and that causes additional stress against that flap. Immediately after that, however, that pressure begins to oscillate in the protected zone. So while it was pulling initially, it comes back and starts pushing back against the flap, which causes it to reopen, letting a gap occur where flame can get through. That is the primary way in which most flap valves fail. It's not a huge structural failure. Components aren't ejected. It's subtle. But when the flame gets past that valve and begins to accelerate on the other side, the consequences are disastrous. So what can you do if you have a flat valve installed in your process and you're concerned about its ability to live up to its ratings on its ATEX certificate? Of course, you can always contact the manufacturer and ask them how the valve was tested. Ask them if it was tested with a protected zone pipeline. You're always free to contact Fike. We can help you understand your process better and help assess whether or not your process might be at risk.